Hi, this is Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about how to demo or teach Wingspan. This is the method that I use to teach Wingspan, a 1 to 5 player game by Elizabeth Hargrave that Stonemaier Games publishes. This is not a how to play video, just a how to teach video. So the first thing I do is I set up the game and to kind of show off the various components, the eggs, the bird feeder dice tower, the food tokens, the wooden dice. And I tell players that they are attracting birds to their sanctuary, their own personal player mat, over the course of 4 rounds. And at the end of the game, the player with the most points will win. During setup, there is one choice that players need to make. And each player will get one of each of the 5 food tokens and a random hand of 5 bird cards. At this point, I do encourage players to just keep their cards face up on the table for the entirety of the game. There's really no reason to keep a private hand of cards in Wingspan, especially during a learning game. So of these 10 things, 5 food tokens, 5 bird cards, players get to keep 5 total things. So they have 10 things, they're going to keep 5. And this is the opportunity when I tell players that the way that they'll play birds during the game is to pay food for birds that have their food cost here. So if I wanted to play this bird, it would cost 1 invertebrate. And I'm telling them this at this point because I want to encourage them, given that they don't know a lot about the game at this point, to basically keep food tokens so that they can play a couple of these birds. So if they want to play this bird, they should keep this invertebrate token among those 5 things that they need to keep at the beginning of the game. Players will also get 2 bonus cards at the beginning of the game, and they'll keep 1. And so that might influence their selection as well. So they'll make that initial choice. In the first round of the game, I generally encourage new players to play a bird. And so the first thing I do is to show them, okay, they're going to put a player token here on the player bird action, and they are going to play one of their birds, paying that food cost in one of these habitats. This bird can be played in the grassland or the wetland habitat. And I remind them at this point that up here near the play a bird action, it says that at any time when you're playing a bird, you can convert 2 food into 1 of the food tokens required for you to play that bird. So I kind of remind them of what that iconology means here, that this is the any food icon up here. After that first round, I kind of just go through the different actions as players want to take them. I might find a player who needs food, and I'll explain, okay, this is how you gain food. You'll put a token here, you'll gain a food token from the bird feeder, and then you'll move your token over there to show that you've taken your turn. I usually then do eggs. I show that you lay 2 eggs. You can lay 2 eggs on, up to 2 eggs on any 2 birds on your player mat, and then you show that you're done. And then down here, you draw a card. I explain players that they can draw from the 3 face-up cards on the player mat. There are always 3 face-up cards, or they can draw from the top card of the deck. So I go through those actions. Players understand those actions. And then I kind of go into the engine building aspect of the game, which is that if you have a bird in one of your habitats, you can then, your engine has improved. Instead of taking this action, you are now taking this action here, and you're moving your token over here and optionally taking a when activated action as shown on the bird, that brown power there, and then finishing your turn. That's how you're building your engine in Wingspan. One other thing I forgot to mention during the play a bird action, and I usually talk about this when I get to laying eggs down here, is that if you want to play birds in these columns, not just the first column, you need to also pay an egg when you do so. So there is a reason to lay eggs early in the game. Usually at this point, we've gotten to the end of the first round, and so I'll talk about how at the end of the first round, you get some goals, or you gain some points from the goal for that round. That lets players start to think about the goals for the rounds 2, 3, and 4. And I'll also make sure at this point that the players know that all the different ways that they can get points in the game. They can get points from birds, from the bonus cards, from the end of round goals, and then they can get 1 point at the end of the game for each egg, food token on a bird, and tucked cards under birds on this player mat. So basically, I kind of teach the game throughout the first round. I don't give players a ton of information right at the beginning. I just take them through the actions. I unveil the different ways to get points. And then by the end of the first round, players know everything about the game and can continue on their own for rounds 2, 3, and 4. That is how I teach Wingspan. It lets players get into the game right away instead of sitting through a rules explanation. And it's worked out really, really well for the dozens of people to whom I've taught the game so far. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the video below. Thanks.